It is Thursday, the 2nd of May, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Hello and welcome back to Pigeon's Song of the Day. This is a show where I talk about a different song every day. In this first week of the show, I've been talking about opening tracks from albums because it's the first week and I wanted to, follow that theme of beginnings. And I wanted to do a song by Bon Iver because I love Bon Iver. They're one of my favorite bands. Not Bon Iver, as some people say, who are fools. And so I considered doing 22 Over Soon as sort of a tongue-in-cheek, the refrain is, it might be over soon. So I considered doing that as like this is just the beginning of the year, but it might be over soon. But then I realized that Perth, which is the first track of Bon Iver's second album, Bon Iver, is actually a better one to talk about because it's just it's a better song, basically, is what I think. And I just would have more to say about it than 22 Over Soon. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing Perth by Bon Iver from the album Bon Iver from 2011. I don't know if I have much to say before we start listening to it. I'm going to be discussing the lyrics and the meaning of the song because I frankly did not know the meaning of the song until deciding to research it for this episode and was surprised at what I found. But if you want to read the lyrics along with listening to it, be my guest. You're not going to understand a fucking thing that's being said because Justin Vernon likes to make up words on the fly that fit the melody and the vibe but are made up. So, up to you. But right now we're going to pause, follow the links in the description to go listen to the song, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Doesn't that get you all pumped up? I love the way that song opens with just the guitar going doo doo doo, and then eventually the ethereal vocals come in with the and then military drums. It's kind of a surprising turn. I was looking at the Wikipedia page for this album, and Justin Vernon described it as a Civil War-sounding heavy metal song, which is an interesting way to describe it. I think structurally it makes sense. It does actually kind of have a similar structure to heavy metal, but the Civil War sound makes sense with those drums, the military drumming of it. And then it kind of drops away for just the vocals. So here I want to talk about what this song is about, because I didn't know this until I looked it up. All the songs on this album are named after places or about places in some way or another. This one is called Perth. Why is it called Perth? Well, Justin Vernon had worked on the riff and the melodies a bit while making the first album, but it hadn't come together as a song. He just had ideas for it. Then they were doing the music video for the song Wolves from the first album. And the guy who directed the music video, Mato, was best friends with Heath Ledger. And he gets news during filming of the music video that Heath Ledger had died. And he was inconsolable. Justin Vernon was trying to, presumably the other members of the band, we're only hearing this through the voice of Justin Vernon, who's the main guy from Bon Iver. He was trying to comfort Mato because his best friend had died, and he happened to be there with him. And after Matt went home, Justin started writing this song. That's why it's called Perth, because Matt and Heath Ledger are both from Perth. And so the song itself is not about Heath Ledger, it's about Matt grieving Heath Ledger, it says, there's a quote from an interview who said that he was sobbing in his arms, and he was drinking brandy, just completely devastated by this loss, and understandably so. So now if we look at the lyrics, I'm tearing up across your face. It's presumably a double meaning because you would think it's I'm tearing up from reading it, but you can also say that he's being torn apart by this loss, I'm tearing up. And you get move dust through the light to fide your name. Fide is not a word, at least not in this context. Then he says it's something fain. And if you're listening to it, like myself, casually at first, you would think he says find and faint, which he doesn't, but it seems to be what he means. I don't know why Justin Vernon does this, but he likes to make up words that fit into a song, and they don't mean anything, but you kind of get it at the same time. It's strange. This is not a place, not yet awake, I'm raised of make. And then the chorus is still alive for you, love. You can take that in a few ways. In one way, you could think it's Justin Vernon saying, I'm still here with you. In another way, you could think it's him saying, you're still here. You are still alive. You're still here with us. But of course, you could also think, because it's still alive for you, love. You could think, his friend is gone, but love is still alive for him. He still has the memory. He still has this person in his heart. Love is still alive for him, which I think that reading makes the most sense, really. Then In a mother out of moth, furling forests for the soft, got a no been let aloft. I don't know what that means. Justin Vernon's a weird lyricist. But then, so I'm ridding all your stories. First, you'd think he's saying reading. He's saying ridding. But apparently, Matt was telling Justin all of these stories about hanging out with Heath in Perth. So the use of the word ridding, as in like getting rid of, makes me think like he's listening to him tell these stories, like he's helping him vent, he's helping him kind of get this out of him, he's ridding himself of these stories. And then what I know what it is pouring, wire it up, you're breaking your ground. You could say his tears are pouring, you could say the brandy is pouring, but I think this second verse is kind of like tying into my interpretation of Still Alive for You, Love. It's like you're letting this person's life live through you, you know, their memory is enduring through you. You're telling me all these stories, it's pouring out of you. Particularly the line, you're breaking your ground. I thought it was you're breaking new ground when I first listened to it, but you're breaking your ground, like you're emerging from this. You are breaking out of the thing that you're stuck in. You're breaking your ground. When you think of breaking ground, people think of like digging or like construction or burial, but breaking your ground is like you're getting out of there. You're getting out of the place that you're trapped. And so it's such a lovely sentiment through this whole song, even with like kind of inscrutable lyrics along the way, that it's like it's a song born out of a real situation where Justin was comforting this guy who he didn't really know that well, who had just lost his best friend in the whole world, and he was like, I'm here for you, I'm listening to you, love is still alive in the world, and you can go out and, you know, give that love to people like you gave it to your friend, like your friend gave it to you. I think it's a really nice sentiment. I just reminded myself as I was saying that, I didn't think of it while I was writing my notes for this, but I just thought of it when I was saying it. There's the album A Crow Looked at Me by Phil Elverum under the name Mount Erie. I will definitely be talking about some songs from that album, so just, you know, remember to bring tissues for those episodes, because Jeezy McCreasy, those songs are intense. But, you know, it's a concept album about a guy whose wife died of cancer. True story, and a lot of the lyrics are based on diaries and stuff that he wrote afterwards and during her illness. One of the bits in it, he says, I'm a container of stories about you, I think is the lyric. And this kind of feels like that idea of like, you know, you're gone, so I'm no longer your friend, but now I'm carrying on our friendship as a legacy. I'm telling people about you. You are still alive for me in that way, you know? Especially, like, that's true of any best friend. We're talking about fucking Heath Ledger here. Very acclaimed actor, like definitely still alive in the hearts of a lot of people. Unfortunately taken from us too soon. So it's interesting just thinking about that comparison to the Phil Elverum thing, especially because Heath Ledger was dating Michelle Williams when he died, I think. And Michelle Williams later dated Phil Elverum after his wife died. Interesting connection. Anyway, I don't think I have too much to say about it, honestly. I thought I would have more to say about this, but I think I got it pretty succinctly. Just talking about that meaning of it and that theme and my interpretation of it and the strange lyrics. It leads directly into the next track, so I'm sure when you listen just now you heard the do 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 of the next song. We'll talk about that if I talk about the next song in the album. But for now, that's pretty much it with this song. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Break it down.